In a recent video, we tested out the light levels of the Spider Farmer G12 indoor hydroponic grow system, and I was pleasantly surprised at how high the light levels actually were. In that video, I mentioned checking out what the light levels would be if we put a reflective shroud around the sides and back of the unit, and that is what we are going to be looking at today. Nothing is going to change about these tests other than the fact that I just hung some tinfoil around the unit, and yet again I am surprised at the measurements that we were able to get with this small modification. First up, we are going to be checking out the light levels with it turned all the way up to level 6, with the light as close to the lid as it can get at 8.5 inches. The first slide we are going to show are the light levels with the base unit just sitting in the van next to me, and the light levels are pretty good, especially in the center of the unit with the par reading of 342, though the corners drop down quite a bit to just over 200 par. Keep those numbers in mind as we switch to the next slide, and now we will take a look at it with the foil around the sides and back. Now, the light levels in the center have jumped up to between 400 and 500 par in the center and back of the unit, with the light levels dropping off across the front as there is no foil there as well. However, the light levels are still higher than they were without the foil across the front, and that is simply because the light from the sides and back is being captured and reflected across the whole growing area, including those front sights. I was expecting an increase in light levels as I have tested lights both inside and outside of tents and seen the difference, but this really blew me away. With numbers like this, there is the possibility of growing even the most light-hungry plants that I can imagine, especially if you build a solid shroud instead of just taping some tinfoil around 3 of the edges. I am going to go ahead and throw up the rest of the results with the light at both 8.5 inches and 15 inches, comparing the veg light levels between the two. You will pretty easily be able to tell which is which, as the background pictures with the tinfoil are the ones that I use the tinfoil shroud for, which seem like a pretty good way to keep them different. Now, I can see some folks asking why I didn't put foil across the front as well, and if I were to do that, it would increase the light levels, but at the expense of being able to actually use the unit in real life. Not to mention that you would absolutely cook the plants with no air movement under that light. I think that adding a reflective shroud around the 3 sides of the unit is a good compromise between increasing the light levels while still keeping it functional and useful, but each person will have to make that decision on their own. I am not sure if I will need to create a shroud like this for my own use, considering that I am currently only going to be doing some vegetable garden starts right now, but this could be a really great way to do a small autoflower grow. As with the measurements in the last video, you would actually see even higher light levels if you let the plant grow a little closer to the light than the 8.5 inch minimum, but you would have to be careful not to burn the leaves. The more tests that I run on this little unit, the more impressed I am, and I am really curious to see how my starts are going to do in this thing over the next couple of months. I just planted it with savory and thyme, and hopefully they will sprout in the next couple of days. I am not really sure what to expect with sprouting seeds in here, but I am hopeful that it will go well with all the positive feedback we have received from you folks about using something like this for yourself. If seeing how this is working out for us in the long term is something that interests you, make sure to keep a lookout for the grow updates that I am planning on putting out here over the next couple of months, as I have gotten everything set up and have already started recording video with one of our GoPro cameras that you have seen us use in the past. If there is anything else that you would like to see us test out in the future with this unit, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and if the recommendation seems interesting, we will try it out and see if we can make it work. A big thank you to Spider Farmer for sending over the G12 indoor hydroponic grow system, and if you want to check out this unit or any of their other gear for yourself, make sure to click on the links to their website in the video description down below, and use the discount code GEEKS at checkout to get 8% off your entire order.